And just about ready for wrestling to begin on this Sunday afternoon here in Crestview Hills, Kentucky. Hi, everyone. Nate Metz with you on this call. It's just about ready for the Rumble on the River between the Mount St. Joseph University Lions coming down from the west side of Cincinnati, Ohio, to take on the Thomas More University Saints, the number 20 ranked team in the NAIA. Should be a fun matchup between these two teams. Many of these wrestlers have grown up taking each other on, and now they get to do it at the collegiate level under the lights on a Sunday afternoon. Should be a really fun one. Michael Pagano is our producer. Tim Collins is our official today. Thomas More coming into this matchup at 5-2 overall, 2-0 in the Mid-South Conference, and then it's basically flip-flopped for MSJ. They're a Division III team competing in the NCAA. They have a record of 2-5. They're coached by Charles Mason and compete in the Heartland Collegiate Conference, or the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, excuse me. So should be fun. These two teams, again, I know that it's a Division III versus Division II, but Mount St. Joseph has a lot of really talented wrestlers on their team, and they're going to have a chance to display that for you on the Saints Sports Network. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we've got the coin flip. We've got the first match. This will be a great day. Folks, let's get it kicked off here on TMUSaints.com.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why
was the basketball court all wet?
Why?
Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation?
New York.
Just about ready for wrestling to begin on this Sunday morning/afternoon in Northern Kentucky. The Rumble on the River will begin after our pregame prayer and national anthem. Do not go away. We'll be back here shortly on the Saints Sports Network. Just about ready to go in Crestview Hills on the campus of Thomas More University. Again, everyone, my name is Nate Metz with you all today. Cannot wait for this wrestling bout to begin. Out at the middle of the ring, looks like Dalton Mayer of Thomas More and Gary Powell of Mount St. Joseph, standing with Tim Collins, our official today for our opening coin flip. It's going to be won by Mount St. Joseph. The two heavyweights shake hands. We'll see them later on today. And TMU going to get it going. We've got a good crowd on hand today for being a Sunday afternoon. Not surprised at all, considering that these two teams are from only, 15 minutes away from each other? So maybe 20 minutes away, depending on what traffic is like when you hit 50. We're starting it off with a battle at 125 pounds. Nathan Hammond of Mount St. Joseph taking on Shea Horton of Thomas More University. Thomas More rocking the blue singlet, blue and white singlet, I suppose. Mostly blue, white letters across the front, big S on the back. Mount St. Joseph, the Lions, with the, black singlet, as Shea Horton immediately goes to work. Good hand fighting between these 225-pounders. For Hammond, coming off of a loss against Eric Sadler of Otterbein. As Shea Horton's immediately getting in on that single, and he's got a takedown to take an early lead. Horton looking for a mat return, successfully does so. And now he'll work for a turn. Before that, against Heidelberg, Hammond lost to Cole Reiner. Both of those losses that I just mentioned, both decisions, as Hammond's able to stand up and get away. He got a fourth win before that. His last win in the ring came against Elijah Burkhardt against Muskingum, which ended up actually being a forfeit. But he has been a wrestler that has stepped up and has been taking on some really tough competition. He takes on more tough competition today as Shea Horton's got another takedown and will look for bonus points in this first period. Nearly halfway through the first period of match number 1. Quick turn. Horton needs to find a little more consistency. That exposure of shoulders toward the mat. Good job by Hammond to just belly down and live to see another day. Horton got the half Nelson available. A 2 count. It's going to be a 2-point near fall at least for Horton. As now he'll work on the other side, and Hammond is in deep, deep water, and he's got the fall. Shea Horton kicking it off with a big-time pin to put Thomas More up 6-0. A first-period fall for Shea Horton. And for Shea, on the year, that's going to move his overall record up a notch. Shea Horton now 11-5 on the season. Now at 133 pounds, Casey Regal and Desmond Diggs are set to get after it. Casey Regal with the Taylor Swift walk-up and intro music. All right. Whatever works. Casey Regal, first time I'm actually getting a chance to see him wrestle live, I believe. I don't think I saw him last year at all. But Casey Regal, a really talented 133-pounder for Thomas More, going up against Desmond Diggs. Diggs out of Xenia, Ohio. Most all of these wrestlers from the greater Cincinnati area, or at least southwestern Ohio, on both teams. A couple for Thomas More from Indiana, maybe a little bit further away even, as there's a good tie-up for Regal. He's got the underhook. And Diggs just continuing to press forward. Casey Regal's out of Norwood, Ohio. Went to Norwood High School. Norwood, kind of an interesting city in Cincinnati. It's like right near Hyde Park and Oakley, and there's a city kind of sandwiched all in the middle there. But it's its own entity. A lot of good little eateries over in Norwood that I frequent on a I wouldn't say semi-regular, but an occasional basis. Minute 20 through this first period, and no points yet for either wrestler. Regal. This is kind of looking like a heavyweight matchup almost at 133 pounds. Collins asking for a little bit more. Trying to slide by is Diggs. Now, I like the idea of going to that slide by, but immediately when Regal squares up, because he's a good wrestler, that ankle's open. So if Diggs is going to do that slide by, you got to immediately jump down to that low single. Regal, and keeping his distance, not wanting to do the collar. I appreciate wrestlers that don't do the collar tie, just straight up. If you're going to tie up, you better be doing something with it. Regal keeps just flirting with that right ankle of Diggs. Trying to pull him forward. Diggs moving in a little bit. Under a minute to go in period numero uno. Another good try for Regal. Quick sprawl by Diggs, and now Regal's got Diggs right on his back. What an immediate turn of events as Regal gets a takedown and a hard crossface as he looks to turn. Under 30 seconds to go in the first period. Good job by Diggs to get down to his belly. That could have been tragic for Diggs, who had been wrestling fairly well, playing defensive but not giving Regal anything. And Regal with just an amazing, ferocious attack ends up putting him straight on his back and now looks for a heavy power half. He's got 3 seconds to get the turn. That's going to do it for this first period, which started slow. It was, silent, and then there was a lot of fury. As Regal, oh man, what a warrior. He's bleeding all through his nose. And we're going to take a blood timeout. Man, what a first period that was. I'm stepping away for 1 minute. When we come back, we've got more wrestling at 1:33 here on the Saints Sports Network.
Around the world, around the clock, in defense of all we hold dear back home, America's Navy.
Back to it on the Saints Sports Network. Little pause in the action at 133 pounds. We go to the second period. Casey Regal looks like he's got a cut under his right eye. Is that what I'm seeing? It doesn't look like anything coming out of his nose. Yeah, definitely looks like a cut on that right eye. This is not a boxing match, but it looks like he's been through it. What an impressive first period for Casey Regal. Again, started slow. A lot of, underhooks, overhooks. As Diggs is going to decide to go neutral to start this second period. 2 minutes on the clock. We're back to it. Regal just leading 2-0, even though at the end of the period he nearly had a big-time fall. Again, Diggs keeping his distance a little bit. But when you're doing that, if you're going to be wrestling defensively, you just got to be careful he doesn't catch you on your heels, or immediately you're going to find yourself on your back. Again, credit to Diggs for being able to belly down. Didn't even give up back points. No near fall given for Regal as he continues to now push a little more intensely than he did in the first period. See if we can get a takedown here and build a commanding lead. Now a collar tie. Almost, this may be the first collar tie that we've really seen in this match. Let's see if either wrestler can do anything with it. Shot in quickly by Diggs, but sprawled well by Regal. Oh, nice job by Diggs. A good look on that left leg, but he just wasn't able to get the single. And then Regal attacking right back. 45 seconds to go in the period. Regal again trying again. Diggs answering back. Good battle between these two wrestlers. Still anyone's game at the moment. Oh, Diggs in on the shot. Regal got a sprawl back. We're into a scramble. 25 seconds to go. Diggs desperately trying to grab on to hip control. Diggs fighting through. It's going to be a takedown for Diggs. And the Mount St. Joseph contingent gets a little into it. 11 seconds to go. Great job by Diggs. You have the guts to go neutral against the wrestler that just puts you on your back, and he's able to win this period, get the takedown. We're going to the third. It's going to be 2-2. And I got to think Regal's going to start down. He's got to start down here. Regal's a little slow to get up. Getting a look at Jason Russell, his head coach, who is emphatically agreeing with me. You are starting down. You are getting this escape or reversal, whatever. You are getting out of this spot. You are winning this match in the third period. This is when all of those tough training sessions that you have, the conditioning sessions, the Fun Run Fridays and things like that, this is where all of that comes in handy. When you, even though you've been wrestling hard for 5 minutes, need to pull it out in the last 2 to get that 1 point. You need, in the last 30 seconds, to be able to get up and have that extra tank to get you further. This is when it really pays off. We'll see if Regal's able to get that here, or are we going to go to overtime, or is Diggs going to be able to ride him out? I don't have a clock in front of me as far as riding time is concerned, but we'll see. Diggs hanging off to the side. Stalling warning given on Regal. One more stalling warning. That's going to be a point for Diggs. And Regal just got to do something to get up. Diggs in control at the moment. 1 minute to go. Regal trying to build to his base. Diggs putting heavy pressure on him. Regal kicks away. 45 seconds to go. Diggs holding on. Diggs trying to roll the wrists underneath Regal and continue to break down his opponent. Now Regal trying to sit out. Regal trying to get away. Regal gets the escape, takes the lead 3-2, but the battle continues. 24 seconds to go. Diggs has got to go, trailing by 1. 15 seconds now as Regal shoots in. Diggs in on the takedown. Diggs takes the lead in the final 10 seconds. Regal with 5 seconds left. Doesn't seem like he's able to get up. That's going to do it. What a win for Desmond Diggs. 4-3 over Casey Regal at 133 pounds. What a great matchup that was. Diggs, with that win, gets his team on the board. And a little extracurricular between these two. And it's going to be 6-3. And now we've got to sort all this out. Coaches may have to come out here and have a conversation. Diggs gets his hand raised. We'll see if there's an extra point or if there's a point deducted from Thomas More. It will be one team point taken away from TMU for that. Well, yes, so it is now 5-3 in favor of Thomas More after the extracurriculars from Casey Regal. You hate to see that. That was a good matchup between these two. I know you're frustrated. Just got to get back in the lab and get better. Now we go to 141 pounds. Next matchup is going to be Noah Harville going up against Josh Dunn for Thomas More. Josh Dunn on the year, making his, I guess, first matchup here for the Saints here in 2022, 2023. He's got the heavy padding on the right leg. And for Harville, Dunn immediately squaring up. He's looking for a big throw here. Dunn able to work Harville right to his back immediately. How about this for an opener for Dunn? Josh Dunn trying to give him a good squeeze. Back points given, a 4-point near fall as immediately Dunn works back to the middle. How's that for a statement? Dunn. Certainly the low man against Harville. And Dunn just willed his way in. Kind of a bear hug situation. Got the double underhook. And absolutely owned it. Uh-oh. Another one coming potentially. There's the overhook for Dunn. He's looking for the underhook with that left arm. Dunn continuing to look for that big throw. Harville able to avoid the first one, but Dunn now with the double underhook. Very dangerous spot for Harville. We'll see if Dunn's able to step through. He tries, he whips him to his back. This could be all. Dunn looking for the pin. He's got it, right? He's got to have this. Harville doing all he can to get off of his shoulders, but he is in deep, deep water. 4-point near fall for Dunn. Josh Dunn out of Batavia, Ohio, went to Goshen. And Harville somehow staying off of his back. But now a heavy half Nelson in. And that's all. Dunn with the first period pin. Thomas More back in action. They take an 11-3 lead. Now at 149 pounds for Thomas More. Usually this is a spot where Ryan Moore, shakes the ground when he walks in and everyone gets pumped. He had a dip where he get pumped today. With Moore nursing an injury, we've got Cameron Baird taking over. Cam Baird, a senior here at Thomas More. A guy who I've had a chance to watch wrestle a number of times here as a Saint. Baird going to go up against Jordan Zigo. Baird, a very experienced wrestler, as Zigo immediately shoots in, tries to push the tempo. Zigo, heavy underhook there with the left hand. Baird not giving up yet. Baird's the lower man here. Zigo just forcing his way in, looking for the inside control. Every match so far has been just electrifying. Baird tries the outside single, doesn't get it. Good sprawl by Zigo. Baird working for hand control. Left collar tie from Zigo. Baird, been told by his coaches, he tried that outside sweep, that outside single. Just needs to power right on through, go for the high crotch, the inside shot. Still nothing all through 1:15 seconds. Baird and Zigo still doing the dance halfway through period number 1. See if we can get something to get the crowd into it a little bit. Otherwise, it's like wrestling in front of an empty gym, even though there are plenty of people here. It's kind of a chess match right now. Nothing too crazy. Cameron Baird out of Harrison, Ohio. Went to Harrison High School. It's a while ago. So he's going to be looking to kick off or finish off a great Thomas More career. Again, with the COVID year, who knows what eligibility still is for all these different athletes. Good thing is that's not my job. Corey Blackson's got that taken care of in the compliance office. Zigo lost the hairnet, gonna have to wrestle without it. Baird immediately gets the low single, and he's able to pick it up. Nice takedown for Cameron Baird as he works a heavy crossface and now tries to turn his opponent. Cameron Baird showing some depth for Thomas More at 149 pounds. 25 seconds to go. Baird 4-3 on the year, trying to get that win total to 5. Three seconds left. That's going to do it for the first period, but Cameron Baird showing some senior leadership for Thomas More. So he's going to defer to the third period, and Zigo's going to have to make a decision about what he wants to do next, and he's going to decide to go neutral. This worked well for Desmond Diggs at 133 pounds, where he was trailing by 2. He decides to go neutral. Zigo still a little too high. Gives Baird a number of opportunities as now we're in a dangerous spot. Both wrestlers have a overhook or an underhook. See if fireworks are about to fly. 1:30 to go. Still plenty of time for either wrestler to try to toss, and Baird ends up squeaking out of it. Not a bad decision. You're wrestling with the lead. You got to wrestle smart. Got to look to build this advantage. You don't want to find yourself getting taken down, going into that third period, needing to get the escape or needing to pull away. The thing is, when Zigo, he goes in for those tie-ups as he's now got the outside single, and this should be a takedown, but Baird so scrappy, able to stand, just doing everything he can to get away, but it still wasn't enough. Zigo with the takedown. So now Jordan Zigo working hard on Baird, who's going to have to work to get away. Both wrestlers very close to the edge of the mat. That's going to be out of play. We're going to go back to the middle referee's position with 30.9 seconds left. Big spot for Baird. If Baird can get away, he'll take a 3-2 lead going into the third period. Then he can probably start down again and build up to a 4-2 lead. with a couple of timely escapes. That's why, my philosophy has always been you always choose down. That's a free point. You're down, that's a free point. And Baird's able to stand up and get away. So I can almost guarantee what Baird's going to do when we go to that third period. If he's able to get up that easily against Zigo, you got to think that he's going to do that again. And Zigo's probably not going to worry too much about it because Zigo feels confident going neutral. If your opponent would rather go neutral, by all means, take the bonus point. Baird taking a look back at his corner, but it don't matter. He knows exactly what he's doing. Again, that's an experienced wrestler that's been here with Coach Russell for a number of years. He's starting from the down position, and again, you just have to believe that this is going to be an automatic point. You as a wrestler, you have to believe in yourself that you can get away from anyone, even if you can't. It's a lot easier said than done, I know, but. Zigo, I'm curious to see what their plan is here. Obviously, you go for the turn. You do what you can. Try the mat return here, but Baird, again, just too tough. He's able to stand up and get away. It's now 4-2. Zigo loads up with the double underhooks. Baird awfully close to the edge of the ring. Good slide by. Baird in. We're going back neutral. Back to the center of the mat. Thomas More leading 11-3 in the team score. Cameron Baird leading 4-2 at the moment in this match at 149 pounds. Minute 20 to go. Good shot in by Zigo. Zigo's got to do something with it. No hip control yet. He's got it. Equalizer. 4-4. Zigo takes a look back at his coach. Coach Charles Mason telling him, hey, you got to work for a turn here. We can't cut him loose just yet. Baird, he's so good. He's able to get away. We're going back neutral, 5-4. Now, Baird's got to make sure he doesn't get taken down again. You can give up one takedown in this third. You can't give up two. Under a minute to go. And the problem that Baird's been running into, he ends up getting as tall as Zigo. He ends up standing up too straight, and Zigo, a fast enough wrestler to get down in on that shot. But Baird now in on the leg, looking for hip control and looking to ice this match. He's got it. Cameron Baird takes a 3-point lead. 30 seconds to go. Coach Russell barking out orders, looking for some sort of turn from Baird. See if he can roll those wrists under. Baird looking for the turn. 20 seconds to go. Baird looking for a tilt, doing whatever they can to pick up some bonus points. Baird trying to stay away. It's now going to be a 1-point match. Zigo needs to go. 4 seconds left. That's all. Baird gets it done. Baird ends up winning it, albeit barely, but he gets it done. A 1-point match. Should be a decision for the senior, Cameron Baird. You get under 1 second. That last second seemed like it took a year. But Cam Baird gets a nice ovation from his fans, and he absolutely deserves it. That was a good match for him. Stepping up for the injured Ryan Moore, getting it done. Now Brody Gray for Mount St. Joe is in to take on Kylan Keith. Kylan Keith looking for a big-time pin. He always does. He is one of the best pinners in all of the NAIA. You can trust him that he's going to be going for bonus points, and he's already in on a tough takedown of Brody Gray. Gray out of, well, not anywhere near here, Lafayette, Louisiana. And he's learning that in the Midwest, man, they grow him tough. As Keith trying to keep him on the mat. Keith's got him flat on his back with the cradle, and that's a fall. Who saw that one coming? Kylan Keith with the pin. He's so good. 14-5 now on the year. That is fall number 10 on the season for Kylan Keith, who gets his hand raised. Thomas More extends their already impressive lead. It's 20-3. Now for Thomas More, one of my favorite wrestlers not just because of where he's from, my home state of Wisconsin, but also certainly a more funky wrestler. Wilder Wickman getting ready to go against Skylar Cowgill. Cowgill out of Richwood, Ohio, and he's immediately taken down in the first 5 seconds by Wilder Wickman. Wickman gonna not cut him loose. He's keeping right on with Cowgill. The thing is, when you're working on those mat returns, it's a matter of you got to make sure that you're owning those ankles, all right? And Wickman does such a good job of continuing to work on those little ankle trips, continuing to put pressure on you, not allowing you to find a good base. As Cowgill's in on that leg, Wickman a little bit slow, and there's the big head throw, but a great roll through and a takedown for Cowgill. And Wilder, he knows he got caught. That's the thing with the head throw. It's worked so many times with Wilder Wickman, but that proves to me that Skylar Cowgill has either done some study or has had that happen to him before. They are going to give a takedown to Cowgill, which I'm a little surprised about, but still, Cowgill earned that. The thought is when you get that head steal or head throw, whatever you want to call it, when you fire that through, you better make sure that they are not rolling you through with it. That's the way to get through the head steal. If you just get flat on your back, you're done. Wickman's not going to let go, but you have to just roll him through and continue on, even if you throw him away and don't get the takedown. That's better than ending up giving up several near-fall points. Wickman, again, after standing up, gets the takedown. He's going to lead it now 5-3. Wickman out of Johnson Creek, Wisconsin. The brother wrestling down at Chattanooga. So Wickman's got the arm bar flat across the back. It's key. You just got to keep it at 90 degrees. That's the ruling here. You start turning that arm up toward the shoulder blades. Official's going to call potentially dangerous every time. But Wickman, such a good wrestler. He knows what he's doing. Ends up putting Cowgill right on his back. Picks up 4 near fall points. Well, he looked for the pin. Still 1:05 to go. And that's a fall. Wilder Wickman with a first period pin. Thomas More now up 26-3. And the beat goes on for them Saints. Wilder Wickman, all class. Man gets it done. The head steal didn't quite work out the way he wanted to. That's something to learn. That's something that, people are going to pick up on a little bit, but it's great to have. And it's good to have that knockout punch. Right, you got to have that knockout punch, especially in dual meets when you're looking for bonus points. And Wilder Wickman had that. Didn't quite come when we thought it would. But hey, first period pin, can't complain about that. Jamon Spiller is up against Alex Hobbs now. Spiller from Thomas More, an Indiana guy, as Hobbs is quickly in. Spiller just so tough trying to work away. Spiller on one leg, just tries to kind of donkey kick his way out. And a stalling warning immediately called on Spiller for basically jumping out of the ring. Although Spiller, I'll take that if I'm Spiller. Even if it is in the first 25 seconds of the match. A stalling warning's better than giving up an automatic 2 points. Oh, and then the two wrestlers collide, both taking a shot at the same time. Spiller, oh wow, trying to whizzer. Jet whizzer throw did not go, at least not yet, as Spiller tries to spin out of it. I'm liking this Alex Hobbs kid. And now with 2 underhooks, Spiller trying to do what he can. Hobbs with the whizzer in on the left arm, kind of that overhook, as Spiller's going to try to run a half Nelson. He's got a chance for it. These two wrestlers are going to be off the mat, though, here in a second. Yes, good call by Tim Collins, our official, noticing that Spiller's foot had left the line. As long as the wrestlers don't go off of the mat, as long as one wrestler has something, like a shoelace or something, in the mat or in the ring. Just let it play on. And obviously when you're a wrestler, you got your shoes taped usually, or you've got some sort of strap over those shoelaces as Hobbs is immediately in, and he goes for the fireman carry. Spiller has not yet given up a takedown. We're halfway through the first, still 0-0. I'm thinking this could be a stalemate. No, Spiller sits out, and it's a takedown for Hobbs. Wrestlers are off the mat. Spiller is going to head back to the down position. Alex Hobbs coming off of a win against Cale Callahan at Otterbein. Won that one 12-7. Hobbs, a local-ish kid out of Morrow, Ohio. Went to Little Miami. (26-3) is our score. Little Miami. Of course, Miami River. The Little Miami Brewing Company's up there. That's a shot in for Hobbs. He's looking to take a fairly commanding lead over Spiller, or at least a more encouraging lead if he's able to get this takedown. He does. Spiller's got a belly down. Spiller shaking his head. He's disappointed. I think he just got caught twice. Hobbs is out wrestling him so far. Jamon Spiller, too. The thing is, when he's wrestling, things happen. He's been taken down more times than any Thomas More wrestler. He's also taken down more wrestlers than any Thomas More wrestler. So, you just kind of take what you can get with him. He's going to work to try to stand up and get away. The Granby roll off the mat. Still not able to get away. 2 seconds left. In this first period, Spiller, still though, he's not out of this match by any means. I mean, Hobbs has beat him in this first period. But for you Thomas More fans that are watching, that's going to be a caution on Jamon Spiller. Moving a little bit too early. 2 seconds can be put back on the clock. So caution warning number 1 for Jamon Spiller. I get it, you got 2 seconds left. You're trying to get away as quick as possible. And for Hobbs, you just hold on without locking those hands. The officials is going to say he's got the 2 seconds in his head. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, that's all. So Spiller does not get the escape. It's going to be a choice for Hobbs. I'm curious to see if he defers. Again, he's going neutral. I appreciate that out of Mount St. Joe. That's a coaching philosophy that we are going to win neutral every time. We're going to take now, and it's worked a couple of times. I mean, we saw Diggs put on a great show in the third period against Regal at 133. We're seeing Hobbs do a good job against Spiller, who just heaves him over, but Hobbs able to get his hips back. He's got Spiller on his back, and Spiller able to belly down just barely. 4-point near fall for Hobbs, who's now up 8-1. Yeah, I mentioned the Little Miami Brewing Company. Great pizza there. They have great food. At the Little Miami Brewing Company up there, and I don't even remember where it is in Ohio. I just know I've been there. I didn't drive. I saw like a show there, some like classic rock show or something like that. Minute 10 to go in the second period. 8-1, 10-1 now. And another stalling warning on Spiller. That's going to be 1 point given to Hobbs, who now leads by 10. That's fine for Spiller. He's just going to have to work for the pin. Spiller on the year. Seven and 8 for his record. Still looking for that first pin. Now would be a good time to find it. Spiller just trying to stay off his back. Tough chicken wing hold from Hobbs. And potentially dangerous call. 13.2 seconds left. Spiller just, at this point, you survive, and if you're Coach Russell, now when you're down by 10, you haven't had a chance to ride yet. I don't know exactly what Spiller's specialties are. I would think it would be neutral to go for some sort of throw. If that's going to do it for the second period. We'll see what Coach Russell tells him to do here. Are they going to go neutral? No, he's going to say start down. All right, I'm going back to the well, see if you can get that bonus point. Also from a coaching philosophy, of course, I mentioned the importance of being able to go from a referee's position and win. As the Granby roll is well defended by Hobbs, who's now got a standing cradle. Is that locked? No, it's not. Spiller able to get up, get away, and get that 1 point. So now he's trailing by 9. A takedown would make things a little more interesting from a dual meet scoring perspective, trying to avoid the major decision. Spiller able to get the takedown. That's huge for Thomas More. Coach Russell now getting up, getting after it. 1:30 for Spiller to do something and work to turn Hobbs. He was trailing by 10. He was so far behind. Count out by the official as Spiller continues to try. It's going to be Hobbs with the reversal. Hobbs now back up by 9. 1:15 now to roll. Minute to go. Spiller has got the Granby roll available. Again, if Hobbs rolls off too far to one side, and if you're on top and you're defending the Granby roll, as we saw Hobbs do, you got to kind of roll with him. And Hobbs just lets him go. Spiller, 40 seconds to make something happen. He's down by 9 still. Needs a big takedown. Or excuse me, down by 8. Needs a big takedown. Hobbs just relentless as he's got another one. Alex Hobbs earning this one at 174. He has put on a phenomenal display against a tough wrestler in Jamon Spiller. Spiller, his record going to drop to 7-8 on the year. Excuse me, 7-9 on the year. And a big win for Alex Hobbs, as his major decision will make the score now 26-7. Thomas More still well in hand with 3 matches to go. So next up will be Logan Souders for Thomas More, taking on Cornell Beecham Jr. Cornell Beecham, senior out of Cincy, went to Winton Woods High School. Logan Souders, first time I've had a chance to see him wrestle this year. Souders also a kid out of the Harrison area, the Harrison High School. We already saw some success from one Harrison wrestler and Cam Baird. As a head throw, oh, what a quick look from Beecham. Beecham certainly built like a wrestler, as he's able to circle around to get the takedown on Souders. Still to come, Zach Watson and Dalton Mayer to close it out for Thomas More. But Souders focusing on the task at hand. Trailing currently 2-0 to Beecham. Looking at Beecham's last couple of matches. Well, nothing's coming up on... Yeah, nothing's coming up on track wrestling. As Beecham works for the fall. This will be a nice little debut in 2023 for the MSJ Lions at 184 pounds. Beecham's got the 4-point near fall. It's a matter of whether he can get the shoulders of Souders squared. He was not able to. 4-point near fall awarded. It's now 6-0 in favor of Cornell Beecham. Cornell Beecham transfer from Notre Dame College Falcons over there. Participate in wrestling, football, lacrosse at Winton Woods. That was kind of interesting in his bio. Placed at state twice. He was a Greco All-American. Male Athlete of the Year at his high school. Winton Woods. I would think most people that are listening to this know of the Winton Woods area, considering it's a very Cincinnati area matchup between two teams that are only about 20 minutes apart from each other. Winton Woods, they pump out some pretty good athletes. Still 6-0. Souders just trying not to give anything serious up to Beecham, where he's got to come out of a 10-0 deficit. Stalling warning on Souders. Now Beecham looking to run Souders over. 8 seconds left. Beecham looking for a late fall in the first period. Does he have it? Tim Collins looking for it. Doesn't seem like it's there, and Souders saved by the bell. 4-point near fall still, 10-0 in favor of Beecham Jr. Cornell Beecham in control, very, very handily. Taking on a tough team, a nationally ranked team in the NAIA. Getting a tough matchup, but catching a flyer out of the gate, going for it. And he's got another takedown. He's up 12-0. And he's going to cut Souders loose by the look of it. Both wrestlers are off the mat and away. Coach Russell asking Souders for more hand fighting, looking for a takedown, but Beecham, just a freight train, runs right through him. 14-1 is our score. Souders had the escape, had to have to get away, so. That's the thing, the escape statistic in wrestling sometimes is a little misleading. Because if you're in matches like this, and granted, Souders hasn't been just taken down, letting back up, taken down, letting back up, but some wrestlers I had seen, as it's now 14-2. Still in favor of Beecham. But that all counts as an escape. You know, a hard-fought escape in the last 5 seconds against someone that's been, you know, riding you tough. It's all the same in the stat book. Beecham's got another takedown. Got to think he's going to cut him loose and look for the tech fall here. Souders not giving up the 6 points. This match out of hand anyway. Out of reach, certainly, for Mount St. Joseph. Even 3 pins, as unlikely as that may be, especially with Dalton Mayer looming ready for that heavyweight bout. And it would still make it 26-25. Thomas More wins. So that's not necessarily important right now. End of the day, you just got to do your job, do what you can to get your hand raised and continue on. Souders getting picked up there. And I know that Souders hasn't looked great here, but I think this is just Beecham. I think Cornell Beecham is going to be a problem for the Heartland Conference. This guy, he looks good. I mean, he's definitely built for it. And we've seen some good wrestlers so far. I thought Hobbs had a great match. As now, that's going to be a tech fall for Beecham over Souders. Final score, 18-2. So, man, Beecham. Mount St. Joe fans, I know you haven't had a ton to cheer for today. You got a lot to cheer for in that young man. he is the most impressive wrestler that I have seen from this Mount St. Joseph team so far. And the rest of the Mid-South, or not the Mid-South Conference, the rest of the Heartland Conference, when they watch that matchup back, they better take notice. Head to 197 pounds. Caleb Gelter taking on Zach Watson. Gelter out of Milford, Ohio. Zach Watson, not the quarterback for the Jets, Zach Watson. And here for Thomas More out of Verona, Kentucky, at Walton Verona High School. It's so quiet in this gym. There's so many people, yet still, for whatever reason, just maybe it's Sunday, you're still waking up from that, the Saturday festivities. Not me, I was up and at him this morning. I was ready to go. Quick takedown on Watson from Gelter. Gelter coming off of a loss, but he's got a big-time fall in the first period. He's excited. Zach Watson ends up finding himself on his back. Good pin from Caleb Gelter, who's now won 4 of his last 5. And it comes to the finale. So these two shake hands and compete in the coin flip at the beginning of this matchup. Now it's Dalton Mayer to take on Gary Powell. Dalton Mayer, the NAIA Wrestler of the Week, the first one in Thomas More University history. Talked to him beforehand. Said he's got that whole Ultimate Warrior thing going on for him right now. That long hair. Certainly one of the most electrifying wrestlers in all of the country. He proved that at the Midlands Championships out in the Chicagoland area, as he's immediately got a takedown on Gary Powell. Weighs in right around 200, not even close to 285. He's got room. He can eat. He can do what he can to just keep himself fit and ready to go. Around 230 pounds. As he's immediately working for the turn on Powell. Gary Powell, well, drew a very tough matchup today. Wake up, it's Sunday, you got to go wrestle one of the best wrestlers in all of the nation. Gary Powell, though, no slouch. 5-1 coming into this matchup, and he finds himself flat on his back. Mayer holding him down. That does it. Dalton Mayer hammering the final nails into the coffin. The Saints go marching. Dalton Mayer, what can you say? He just keeps on keeping on. Now 16-3 on the year, his 11th pin. And Thomas More will win this dual meet by a score of 32-18. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this broadcast presentation of Thomas More Wrestling on this Sunday afternoon. Our producer, Michael Pagano. My name is Nate Metz, signing off on the Saints